Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for round 2 of the European Racing Series. I'm Ben Regan-McCollum, and joining me on the caster's desk is Jamie Caster Elder. How you doing?
I'm not too sure, man. How you doing?
I am not too bad at all. It's Bahrain, which, if there's one rule of thumb that we've always had whenever we've come to Bahrain, it's pure and simple. This track promotes excitement, it promotes wheel-to-wheel racing, and it promotes tons and tons and tons of overtakes. So, you can see the drivers on the left-hand side, 17 of which some new faces, some we remember from old. They've not necessarily been in the league for a while, but I'm going to throw you in the deep end, as always, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't. What's your top 3 prediction for qualifying?
Oh, top 3 for qualifying. Let's see who we've got here today. Oh, well, it's going to be interesting. Spicy got it last time in Australia. Can he repeat it and do it again here today? Can Mesa up his game? Can Brownie find what was lacking and in Australia and up his game? It's going to be a good one. I think
It is.
Mesa's got this one. Just checking who else is around. I think Mesa will take this. I think Spicy's quick. It appears anyway. It was decent last season. I don't think he's going to be enough for Peter. I think Mesa from Brownie, then Spicy. Brownie's found what he's lacking, upped his game, and is going to deliver it here today.
All right. I mean, it's a good shout. You got to think about the fact, like you say, Brownie has been struggling in, the beginning of this season at least. This is a track that he's actually really quite good at. I do expect him to do quite well, but I don't necessarily put him in the top 3, at least for qualifying. In race, I think Brownie's really good, and I think he's going to hold his own there. We'll come to that later, I guess, when we actually get to the race. But I do agree with you that Meister is probably going to be P1 in terms of the qualifying lap. P2, though, I do have to give it to Rick. Rick has delivered here in the past. In 2018, he is the bottle master, but not when it comes to quali. Quali is his strongest suit. He is a very good fastest lap kind of person, and he's good in the race too, but again, just consistency, penalties, not really the area that he's strongest at. So I do think he will take a solid P2. P3, I do think will be Spicy though. He is fast. I just think Rick will be that little bit faster.
So we're very similar. We just swapped out our second places, really. Yeah. I think what it's going to come down to with Rick is, as we said, he is the bottom master. He is quick, but he invalidates so many laps. Sometimes you'll see him do several runs and only ever get one time off them. And if he has that again today, let's say he gets this first run perfect, but then messes up all the other runs, he's going to be on hard tyres, and on the first lap he would be near the bottom of the track. Sorry, not the track. Well, same thing. So he's really going to struggle with that. I just wonder if he's managed to switch it on for 2019 and improve his track limit situations.
Yeah. I do actually want to go on board with Spicy when he goes for a hot lap. So we can talk about it, because he's going to be fast, there's no doubt about it. I want to see what he can deliver. He's out there on the hard tyres, so it's not going to be the fastest lap here on the hards, especially this early on in a session. But for those of you who are new to league racing, not quite sure what this is the European Racing Series, and we're going to be doing the whole calendar here in the F1 2019 game. Where the qualifying is a 18-minute long short qualifying session. There will not be a Q1, 2, or 3. It's just a singular session where you have to put as fast a time as you possibly can, and whatever tyre you do it on, you will be starting a race in that tyre. When it comes to the race itself, if you're in the top 10, yeah. Outside of the top 10, you can do whatever strategy you want, but in the race is a 50% race distance. So what you see in the normal F1, you will see half of that here today. So, here we go with Spicy. I'm Caster. Take it away.
Absolutely. Down this home straight, a little bit of wobbly going on at the back end. DRS open, and this is one of the longest. I think it's one of the longest. I should work out which one is the longest. One of the longest home straights, and we come down to a tight corner, turn 1. Really open the rev and actually turning quite early for that corner. And he might have backed out already, but he's still going to go for it. That's 2. This is long, turn 3. DRS open once again. That's your point for that. DRS is just before turn 1 actually, so you can benefit from both of them. You go for the overtake, then through the tight turn 4, and then we go to this sort of snaky section, end of sector 1 just here, as we go through 5, 6, and then into 7 and downhill, down towards turn 8. There's tight hairpin. Overtaking opportunities into here if you're feeling brave. If you're not quite brave enough, then you got an overtaken opportunity here in a moment into turn 9 and 10. Reggie's least favourite corner on the entire track. So hard to pick the braking point correctly there. And DRS once again down this middle straight. And DRS detection for this is just before turn 9 as we come up to the fast 11 and 12. And that's Frajoka. I think he bailed out of his lap. He's on his way in, so don't worry about him. Turn 12, very, very important to stay off the curb too much on the inside because it can just send you back in round. Turn 13, and then straight down the hill, sort of down then up really, down towards turn 14. And turn 14 and 15, 15 is not really a corner, but it officially is one. As you just power down, keep to the left-hand side, and get that DRS open, and you set a time of a 1:28.989. On the hards, not too bad, but Mesa is faster at the moment.
Yep, just over 1 and a bit tenths between Mesa and Spicy. They're the fastest on the hard compound tyre, and then you have 3 who've been out there and done it on the soft. So you got Brownie, Jurislav, and Brogan, and Rick. I called it. I said he's fast. He's done a 1:28.803 on the hard compound. He's only slightly ahead of Mesa, by the way. I mean, Brogan is on a 1:28.838, and that's on the soft compound. And then you're slightly a bit further ahead when you get to Jurislav. It's when you get to Brownie's time that's when you really see a difference, a whole second separating the softs and the hards, which is about right, to be truthfully honest. So, yes, Meister, Spicy, and Rick are about a second behind Brownie, but that can all change when they change the tyre strategy, but also as the track evolves.
Yeah, it's very hard to get a fair estimate on what the gaps are at this point, because people could just be running lean fuel for half the lap and just going, look, I'm just putting a bank lap in. I may be using soft spot, still putting a bank lap in. Frajoka did exactly that. He put a 130, pretty much 130 dead on soft tyres. He backed off before he got to the line. Obviously, he didn't want to go too fast there because he would want to come faster in a moment. But you never know. We can't tell what they're doing fuel-wise. We can see ERS, but we obviously can't see every single car doing every single lap, so we don't know exactly if they're running the optimum setup on that ERS. So they could just be sandbagging it a little bit, just to lull their opposition to a false sense of security. I mean, Brownie could have sort of lifted off as he got to the line and just cost-hard himself half a second. Just makes everyone else think, oh, he's a bit slow today, we can easily beat him. But we'll see how that works. Yelt is coming around the final corner, and he is on the softs. He's not lifting off to get to the line. And he goes P3 then, 28.79. So again, quite a bit off the back of Brownie. Brownie is... Well, I think he did lift, did he?
No, I imagine he didn't lift off, but I also think that he can easily knock that time right down. I do expect to be seeing at least low 127s. Yeah, Meister on the hard tyres, he's really found some pace. Also to mention, the hard tyres on this track do take a lap and a half at least to properly warm up and become really optimal. So it's no surprise that the first lap attempt on those hards was not very good. We are seeing more improved times from those that have actually gone 2-3 laps on them, except further downfield. You see Beaker, who's done 2 laps. He's the fastest as a 1:29.2. I expect more from him, especially considering how well he did last week out.
Well, we've still got 9.5 minutes, so don't count your chickens just yet. Marinello, baby, is out there trying to count his... He's on the hards, he's going for his first lap. Currently down in 17th with his teammate just in front of him, who's out lap on the mediums. Only person to be running on the mediums right now, actually, which is interesting to see. The Pista did his on the mediums, but it's come out and I think he's flying on the softs at the moment. So I expect to see him jump up in a moment.
Well,
comes around the final.
Just on the topic of medium tyres, you only get 1 set of mediums in this qualifying session. You get 2 softs, 1 hards, 1 mediums. So most of the drivers that have gone on the hards are going to want to go for the medium stint, because doing a 1-stop here is the key strategy. It is the strategy you absolutely want to go for if you're in the top 10. If you're outside of that, you want to do the reverse of that. You want to go hards to mediums and just really, really commit on the tyres. When you get to the mediums, you should be able to just gun it and absolutely put in time trial level laps. I don't mean necessarily the same pace as time trial, but you know that's how much pressure you're going to be applying to yourself and to your opponents around you. Whereas these guys, obviously, trying to pace themselves at the minute, put in banker laps, help contribute towards a track evolution and prep themselves for that final push, which is going to be in around about 4 minutes or so.
Yeah, So we've still got a few people on the track. Brownie's come out for another one. The pista did do his on the softs and put it up there with a 28.2. So not too far back Brownie, but there is still quite a sizable gap. Brownie's got red fuel, so I think he's on his way. He might be coming to finish this, or he might just throw it in the pits and be done with it. Depends how he's feeling.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's not a bad shout if he just chucks himself in the pits now. I think overall he probably should do that. Yeah, he is doing that. He's doing the right. He knows to do it. It makes sense. You've got 3 and a bit minutes. There's no point if you're gonna have to do another lap anyway. You may as well just chuck yourself into the pits and just say, "I'll wait. I'll be patient. No problem. Compose myself. Get myself ready for that final push." And here we go. 2 Renaults actually out now. One doing a hot lap. One's just done a hot lap. One's just coming out of the pits. The Bahamas is the one who's just come out. So Brogan sets a 1:28.590, literally 0.005 of a second behind Meister, who's currently now sat in the pit on the mediums. Brogan did it on the softs, and Meister did it on the hards.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to keep our eyes on. I'm just aboard with Duxby on the mediums, back there in 17th. Coming down towards the final couple of corners, so he's going to need to put in a time. With the mediums, you're kind of expecting at this point in time to be putting it into the top 6 or 7 or so. Let's see if he can do that. As powered out, DRS is open. 11th, that is a bit off the pace then. But
yeah, I mean, he's on the mediums as well. He
Yeah.
should be doing better than that on the mediums, but now he's put himself in such a position where if he wants to improve that time, he's gonna have to go out on the softs, because if he does another hot lap on the mediums, not only will he do it super early on in the session, I think Duxaby's made a big mistake going out on the mediums here. He really needed to start on that tyre, unless he hasn't got the confidence in his own abilities to get inside the top 10, and he's decided that he's going to go for the soft push to try and bring himself up there. I can only imagine that that's what the case is, but I really think that he's made a big mistake.
Well, we've still got 6 minutes to go. He's on his way back into the pits, so he'll get another run, and it's coming towards your favourite time of the day.
It is. As you can see on the left-hand side, majority of the drivers are in the pits, prepping themselves, and this is what I like to call the calm before the storm. Get themselves ready for that final push. Everybody thinking about the tyre strategies, what they're going to go on. Juroslav's chosen for the softs as it stands. Does still have the opportunity to change it. A few others have done the same thing as well. You got the pit store there on the pits as well. And Brownie's come out again on another set of softs.
Well,
I don't know if he... I mean, he's also very much like Biko, isn't he? In the way that he will easily go on the most crazy strategy. He will go the softs to mediums if he wants to. I mean, in this case, I think he's probably going to go softs to hards. Because I think softs to mediums is just nigh on impossible. But, you know,
I'm trying to remember what
these drivers surprised me left, right and centre.
I've seen him do a race in Bahrain not that long ago, and I've forgotten what his strategy was.
He did a softs. Well, I think he did mediums, softs. I think was what his strategy ended up being in the end. But he regretted it. He said he shouldn't have done that. He should have just done the one stop. I think he knows the mediums to hards is the better strategy, but I think he's just gonna the Ultimate Bahamas.
Yeah.
That was a twitchy moment there. If he's gonna come across the line, he is gonna jump up to P3. But just imagine where he would have been. I mean, he would have been P2 because Brownie's just so far ahead. But the Ultimate Bahamas, that was a fair bit of a mistake there.
He might have just got P2. I think it would have been close. I don't think he's going to have lost the full 2/10, so he might have just missed out really. Let's have a look at Brownie here. Started a flying lap. Just wondering what he's going to... I think he's got time to do this lap, do an in lap, come in and quickly change and go again. It's going to be really tight though.
I don't think he does. It'll be very, very, very narrow. He's going to cross the line in about 15 more seconds. Then it's going to be another 1:30 if he does another fast in lap. And then he's going to have to then get the tyres changed, wait for his Jeffs to react, get him back out on track again. He's really, really cutting it to the wire. But he's committing. He's definitely not going in. So this is going to be an improved time. It goes 1:27.291, which is faster. Really fast. But has he screwed himself over?
Well, I mean, he may be just going, look, I want some quiet track. He's not racing back to the pits, that's for sure. You can tell by how he's going. If he was racing back, he'd be cutting corners left, right and centre. It's not what I like to see it on. I hate seeing people do that to get back to the pits in time, but people do it. So he's just really crawling back. I think this is him done. Or he might. Well, now he's cutting the corners. He heard me speaking to him.
He's listening in hard. Lepisto out on track as well on the soft tyres. He's looking to set a faster lap time. He's currently on the final corner coming up shortly. And we're going to be seeing a pretty solid time. He's already coming up to 118 as he approaches the braking zone. This is really going to be... I think it's going to be a little bit slower than Brownie, but I think it's not going to be far off. He does a 128.092, so it's about 8 tenths actually, almost bang on the nose.
It's a lot slower than Brownie when you come to the come to look at it. But
yeah,
if you look at the tyres in play, Brownie, Lepista, Brogan, and Jerusalem are the only people running soft tyres. As I say, that Yelts changes onto soft in the pits. Has Brownie made a big mistake here? Does he?
I think so.
Well, he must have the confidence in himself to one-stop soft to hards without losing too much time. That's the only thing I can think of. He knows that he's got the pace to get pole with those softs. It's going to be interesting, that is for sure.
Yep.
So, actually, I just want to have a look at him quickly. He's now back into the pits.
He's not got enough time though. He's not got enough time. He literally has to be on his way out of the pits right now in order to do another lap.
Unless he does a cheeky outlap.
I mean, it'd have to be a very cheeky outlap to be able to save.
Oh, Rick's bottled
seconds.
it. Rick has just bottled it. Massively
He's
wide.
He's on
he better be now.
He's already invalidated like turn 1, 2,
really?
and 3. So I mean, he did still bottle it going through 10, 12. But yeah, this now is him setting himself ready for the final push. Rick, my man, to go in P2. Is he going to deliver? Now is the moment.
We are going to find out. We've got just over a minute left. Brownie is still in the pit, so he's done. Yeah, he's definitely done. Just had a quick look. He's still in his pit box. So Rick's already taken a lap out of these tyres. That's kind of important. He's going to get this lap,
I mean,
though.
it was only an outlap, though. It wasn't. Even though he'd already done an outlap. He basically did that again on that lap just before because he made a mistake so early on. Brownie's retired from the session, so he's in the pits. Yeah, that's going to be it for him. I mean, it's a really fast soft time.
Rick did make a mistake, though, at turn 12. That could have cost him a little bit of tyre temperature. Hazard is done. Yeah. I've just seen him stopped on track by Rick. So he's best P5. Beaker's jumped up to P3 with Marinello, baby. That's good to see. They've outplaced Lepista. Only just mine, but they are there. I think eyes are on Brogan and Jerusalem and Rick and Meister. That lot of 4. Spicy's a bit far back at the moment, but you never know.
Rick is 9 tenths faster than his previous, which does put him P2 right now. No one else is looking like they're going to smash it away from him at the minute. I want to see where Meister is. He's further back. Yeah, Rick himself.
Oh!
Final, is that invalidated? Did he just invalidate? Oh, he might have done there on the exit as well.
No, the
exit
was fine.
I assume not. He's going for it. It's going to be a P2, a 127.537. So not quite the accurate prediction I was going to go for. If Meister can beat it.
Brogan
Spicy there.
Is done. Brogan's not going to improve. Jerusalem P10. Spicy's up there as well. So all eyes, I think, on Meister. What about Yonti, actually? Keep an eye on him.
He's a little bit further ahead on Meister, so he might actually be able to... Meister might get a slipstream from it if he's just a little bit faster. I think he might be a bit too far back, actually.
So Yonti, Haskari, then Meister is going to be the crossing order.
Alright, well, here's Yonti. Now on the little sprint up to it. Very shortly after is going to be Haskari. Yonti goes P3. Beautiful stuff. Where's Haskari going to go? He goes P7. Now it's time for Meister. He's 13th and he goes P4. I did not expect him to be that far down.
No, Yonti's a little bit surprising. I mean, we know Yonti's quick, but wasn't expecting him to stick it up there. So good luck from him. And prediction is kind of out. I mean, you got Rick correct in P2, didn't you?
I did.
That's about it.
That's the only one that anyone else got. Yeah, Meister we thought was going to be fastest, and he was actually 4th. And Rainbow, who I didn't even put in my top 3. got
Rainbow?
the fastest overall. So that is phenomenal stuff. So
Rainbow?
Brownie really delivered, but again, we still haven't got the answer that we wanted, which is Brownie making a big mistake? Because every driver below him is on the medium tyre and only 2.5 tenths slower than Brownie on their hot lap. So we'll see. But here's your rundown. You got Brownie P1 with a 127.291, Rick in P2, Yonti P3, Maester P4 with Spicy chasing him in P5, Marinella Baby in 6th, Beaker in 7th, Ascari in 8th, Lepistor in 9th, Hazard in 10th. Brad Joko is 11th, and he's the point where we get past the 1 second mark after that, because Yon Labamas is 12th with a 1.1 second behind leader. Jerry 7th, 13th, Brogan 14th, OSB 15th, Duxby 16th, and Carpaccio in 17th. And, right. Question
Rainbow
time now then.
isn't here, by the way. You said Rainbow.
Did I say Rainbow?
Yeah, instead of Brownie.
Oh, my apologies. I meant to say Brownie. I don't know
I
why I
wish-
said Rainbow. I
wish
missed
Rainbow
Rainbow, that's
thought-
all it is.
Rainbow would wish he was there, that's for sure. At the front of that grid.
Yeah. I think we all do, if we're honest.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing him in France go around Rainbow Road. That's what I'm really
Oh, yeah,
excited.
I forgot about that. It'd be good to see him do that. But now,
We need to
Mace-
name number
I'm
12,
Casa.
don't we? Number 12 on
Name-
this track needs a name. We need to come up with it.
well, we got to wait for someone to have a problem there, I guess.
Well-
Every time we've named a corner after someone, it's always been whenever they've done something drastic, like Vegas Corner, Rainbow Road. You know, these are all areas that we've come up with because the people have made those mistakes. We're not going to find one for me, though, hopefully. And we're just
We've
going
got
to keep
entire
it
tracks
as
for
it is.
you.
No, I think we're all right. But yeah, I'm Cass. I want to get your top 3 prediction for the race based on qualifying.
Is Brownie going to make it? That is my question I'm asking myself. I want to say yes. My mind's telling me no. My heart's telling me yes. My mind is
body?
normally correct. My body. I can't sing. I don't think Brownie's going to make it to the win. I'm putting in P4. I know we don't normally predict P4, but I reckon that's where he's going to get. He's going to have to two-stop it. He's going to try the hards and it's going to backfire on him, so he's going to go softs, hard, softs on his strategy. But race winner will be Maester, followed by Spicy, followed by Yonti. Rick will be P5.
Alright.
Because Rick things.
Because penalties.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm with you for the most part. I actually, for the first time, I'm not going to back Maester to take the win. He just looks out of place today.
I've really
I
forgot
really
what I
don't
just
think-
said.
You said Brownie to go P4. I think you said Spicy, Maester to win, Spicy to come second, Yonti to take third. I think you said.
I think Maester, Yonti, Spicy. Yeah.
Okay, well we'll
Yeah,
go with
that
that, even
makes
if that
sense.
wasn't the right one.
I need to
Whereas
write these things down.
I'm actually gonna throw a little bit of an odd one out there. I think Yonti might actually win today.
You reckon?
I actually think Yonti has the pace to win today, based on what I've seen overall from him in the last race, but also from him today in this race. I think Yonti, especially with the engineer that he's got available to him, I think he will really do well.
Well, we will find out in a moment as they're taking out the positions on the grid. I'm actually writing down my predictions because I'm going to forget them.
You might want to write mine down as well, just because. I mean, I know that I've gone Yonti P1. I didn't get my other 2 out there, so I'm going to go Yonti, Brownie, then Maester. Write that down. Write that down.
There
Alright,
we go. I've written it
we
down
are
on my screen
just
chat.
waiting for the final few drivers to get into their grid boxes. It's going to be the second round of the European Racing Series, and if anything like last week, then we are going to be in for an absolute treat. As the lights will go on now, it's going to be go time in just a second. Who's going to get the better run off the start? It's going to be...
A very long delay.
It is, and it actually looks like Maester got a really good start there. Looking for the move now. Rick is going defensive. He's weaving quite a fair bit there. He could be in trouble for that. He's gone seriously defensive on the inside. There's lots of cars coming down deep into it, and Yonti is going to lose the place to Maester. Brownie and Rick will stay exactly where they are, and things are switching up a little bit further downfield.
Yeah, Marino Baby losing out 5 places so far. 6 places now. Fred Joko's got past him. Marino Baby has just... I think he got a little bit squeezing going on there. He's trying to come back at Fred Joko at the moment, but 6 places down on the first 3 corners is not a good sign. And he's not had the best of starts. You got a yellow flag. Is that Jurislav? having a little off. I'm trying to work out where my buttons.
No, it looks like it was broken. He's got a lot of sort of runoff. I would call it debris, but it's just sort of like chalk, if you like, on his tyres. He looks like he's having a fair bit of an issue overall. Hopefully Brogan can recover that. But looking at it right now, Jolton Bams is the biggest winner so far.
Pista, look at that. He's just dropping again. And he's just lost, I think, 2 or 3 places. Yelt's trying to go around the outside of Ascari, around the outside of turn 12. Pista's trying to do the same on Fred Joko. And nothing coming over either of those. Now, stay off the curve of turn 12. That's the important part. Because that can kick your back end out. As Mesa's looking close to Rick up front. They're both all over the shop.
Yeah, indeed. So Rick is trying to defend from Mesa. He does have the benefit of we don't have DRS yet, at least until lap 3. So we'll see if that changes at all. Brownie's still leading, got about half a second gap. Obviously just sets the fastest lap as well, but Mesa in the slipstream, already in mode 4. Rick is in trouble. He's going to go defensive now as we come up towards turn 1. It's going to be Mesa trying to get around the outside. Rick locks up a little bit too much there, so he goes for the cutback now. And now Rick stays P2. Mesa trying to push as well to catch up to him. Yonti's just spectating, just sitting back and watching what's happening. And as it stands, it's going to be a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, Marino maybe down 7 places on that opening lap. He's battling with overspeed, a little bit of wheel to wheel and wheel to side pod. Marino maybe comes off worst. Doesn't lose a place, but doesn't gain a place. And he's got his teammate on his gearbox. As Yelton and Ascari still going at it for 8th and 9th. I think Ascari just had a little bit of lag there. It's probably what's helping Yelts make moves. But coming up to your least favourite corner. I think this is Raggy Corner, this one. The 9 and 10. There we go.
Well,
You've got a corner named after you now.
It's not so bad. Now that I know how to do it. Oh, actually, look at the 2-3. Oh, I just saw the gap was really, really short, but now it seems to have spread itself out a little bit. We need to wait for lap 3 properly so we can see the timings be a lot more aligned, if you like. They do seem to be a little bit all over the place for the first 2 laps. So we'll wait for the 3rd one. We'll see if anything changes, but when we get to the 3rd lap, we will then have DRS. It won't be on the home straight, but we will have it on the run up from turn 3 to turn 4. So
Yep.
we'll see now, as Rick is actually really quite close to the back of Brownie. He will benefit from the slipstream, but won't get anything more than that as it stands.
Yeah, Rick saying fast lap. Everyone is really quite close still. Has had a great start. He's up 3 places so far. And he's out of DRS from Ascari, so he'll get a little chance to close up to the back of Beaker, but all the front 7 are within that 1 second gap of each other's. Yelt and Ascari going at it. Ascari's going to the inside, and Yelt is still there. There's a little bit of lagging going on. Yelt has the DRS to, defend, should we say. And Fred Jacob behind is trying to see what he can do, but these 2 are going to be battling with each other for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Ascari stays behind him. Yonabamas is taking 8th, which is good. So good start from him. Ascari really needs to bring himself back together. He's down a place. Obviously, he's only just lost it to Yonabamas, whereas Yolt is doing well. 4 places gained. Biggest winner so far. Not far off, though, is Hazard, Overspeed, who've both gained 3 places each. And we have DRS available again, so we'll see if Ascari can bring his gap closer and go for an attack on the final lap, as race leader is under pressure from Rick.
Well, yeah, there's, say, the front 7 are still got DRS on each other. Yonti's the only gap that might be getting towards that 1 second, as Mesa is trying to pull away from him at the moment. He got past him on the opening lap and is now setting his sights on Rick. I think we could see a race lead change here on this DRS straight. Long DRS straight. Is Rick going to fancy a chance? He's right there. He's got less than 0.4. That's close enough to make a move. He's going to go for it. Switches to the inside. Brownie's just going to sit there effectively and just let him go. He's going to get DRS. Rick locks up a little bit. Brownie can't take anything of it. And he will get DRS, but it's not the longest straight. And Rick's got a decent drive. Is Brownie going to have a chance down the inside? Come up to the corner? No, he's not. Ooh,
no, there's nothing more than that. Rick did such a good job on the home straight, DRS straight, managing to get the pass done on Brownie before we even get to the corner. Yes, he locked up a little bit, but nothing more than I would expect from Rick. He's doing everything he can to hold on to the race lead, and now it's looking like Brownie's strategy of going on the softs at the start of the race seems to have backfired quite largely.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of why I didn't predict Brownie to take the race win. He'll be probably stopping in lap 6 or 7 if he gets that far. I think he might be able to go to hards on the end, but will he want to? Will he fancy a a shot on the softs. I mean, if he finds a window that you can slot back into, he might go for it later on in the race, but we're talking 15, 16 laps away at the moment, if not more.
Yeah. So Maester round the back of Brownie now, literally 2 and a bit, 10 separates the two. Maester's not going to look for an attack here. You can see he's in mode 1 on the ERS, but he's going to be mounting it up now as we go around the final corner. Brownie will have DRS from Rick, but he hasn't really got much slipstream to benefit from, and so now you might see Maester close up, ready for the DRS straight from 3 to 4. We might see a change there, but I think it's looking a little bit unlikely.
No, and they're also getting DRS from the guys in front. It's really hard to make an overtake on this track with...
Oh, Haskari and Yolbamster, they are side by side as well. Going through turn 1, Haskari went for an inside line, but unfortunately lost out so much pace. Yolbamster has managed to regain P8, but Haskari has DRS. Here he is now coming up towards turn 4. It's going to be a dive down the inside. He's got it. That is a nice secured move, providing he doesn't let Yolbamster through, and he does because he just runs too wide. But he's also let Fragioko through. Fragioko gets a freebie out of that one, and Haskari's trying to defend it, trying to recover his tracks. He just can't do it, and Fragioko takes P9.
Lepista's down the inside.
Another place. Where is Lepista coming from?
That was a diving half. Lepista's actually going to lose out to Overspeed. Overspeed might claim Haskari here. He's got the inside. Lepista's trying to gain that back on ball with Marinobe. Just sat back watching this. Marinobe loses the rear end, so he's going to lose a place to his teammate and possibly Carpaccio. But is Lepista going to take a move on Overspeed here? He's going to try it. He's had a little bit of a corner cut. Overspeed left him a bit of space, but Lepista just couldn't find said space and had to back off out of it. As yeah, so Haskari down to P10. Fragioko is the only one that got past him, but he's still there. He's still going to get DRS from Fragioko, but at the same time, Fragioko is going to have his own DRS from Yelp in front of him, so it's going to be pretty nullified. The one I'm looking at is Maester on Brownie. Maester's flying. Yeah. Maester's not. He's not going to make the overtake, but
no, he was in mode 1 the whole straight though. He didn't actually try to make the pass happen. Now this is what my theory is, right? He knows Brownie's on the softs. He also knows Brownie's softs are going to turn off in about a lap or two, because he's obviously done a hot lap on it earlier in the qualifying, which takes a good couple of laps out of your tyres just doing that alone. Now the fact that he's in the race with all that fuel, we're going to be... I mean, these tyres will only do 8 laps on this track anyway, is what the recommended amount is to go for. So if he does push himself further than the 6 laps, he's actually going to be losing way more time than you would anticipate. And it's going to be in the next lap or so where we see Maester then turn the wick up, then get past Brownie, and make sure he doesn't lose DRS on Rick. Because otherwise, if he does, which he's not far off doing, he's in trouble now of running too far back.
I think it's crucial for Brownie, although he's just missing out on it now, is to stay within DRS of Rick, because that's going to help your race pace up a little bit. It's not going to make you suddenly the fastest man on track, but it's going to help you as Lepista loses a place and another place. And he just lost 2 places in a space of a corner. Brownie is still there. I'm just going to have a quick look at this. He's looking alright. He's just struggling.
Yeah, he's struggling for straight line speed is what the current situation is.
He's on the softs.
Yeah, he is just close enough though to be able to actually get the DRS. It didn't look like it there for a split second, but he does have it now. So he'll be able to close up a little bit, but now Maester's in a problem. Maester has actually left it so late now to get the pass done that by about halfway through this lap here, unless Rick has some ungodly mistake, then Brownie is going to fall away from the 1 second margin on Rick. Maester will then be stuck behind Brownie because he hasn't made the pass happen early enough.
Fragioko and Yelp battling side by side. They went through turn 1. Yelp holds on to P8 for now, but Fragioko with DRS has come up to turn 4. He had a little look. He's just not going to go for it. I was hoping to do that. He's in good spirits after his race last week. I thought he was going to go for a little dive. And there's your mistake. Yep. There is your mistake. I'm annoyed that I missed that. That is the exit of turn 7 into 8. And that is Rick doing Rick things. Oh!
Oh, that was... I thought he waited. I thought he's fine. But then he saw Marinella, baby, and just went, I'm going for it. And luckily, Rick ghosted. Otherwise, that would have been a seriously bad crash. Rick having more issues though, and yeah, this is why he gets the nickname of the Bottle Master. I think he's about to retire the car. Yep, he's retired.
Retiring on track. That could be an interesting one. I'll leave that one for the stewards. I don't believe that's allowed.
Well, Maester has just been gifted a solid one there from Rick, because Meister now is around the back of what is now race leader on Brownie. He's going for a move. Brownie's not really going to be able to do much about this. I think he might actually decide to go for the pits on the next lap, it looks like. But Meister, mode 4, wing open, slipstream has been used already, and he's now past him. Meister will take race lead. And look at Yonti, he's right on the back of this. He might actually go for a move down the inside of Brownie. He's seeing the gap. He's had a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action. Nothing more than that. Yonti will stay third. Brownie loses a place to Meister, and now Yonti. This is now a switch of positions as Meister was behind Brownie last lap and needing to get past him quickly.
Frajoko's made a mistake as well. He's just dropped down. He was battling with Yelp, and now he's behind Ascari. And Ascari's going to have another attempt at Yelp. These three have been battling for a while now. It was Ascari and Yelp earlier. Frajoko took advantage of a Ascari mistake, but now Frajoko's made the mistake. Ascari's capitalised on it. But yeah, back up to the front.
Go on.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering when Brownie's going to pit. He's obviously got to make these just go for as long as possible, hoping he doesn't get a puncture, just so he can go for a hard and not have to pit again. And that's the only thing I can think of that he's going through his mind at the moment. Is he going to do this lap? It was the similar thing with your race last night. I was like, he's got to come in this lap. No. This lap. No. This lap. No. Is he actually coming in at some point? He knows he has to pit at some point. And I think that's Brownie's just trying to push these tyres for as long as possible until he really starts to struggle with grip. But by then it might be too late. I mean, we've already seen Rick, not even on old tyres, just throw it into the wall and throw away a potential race win. Conveniently, neither of us put him in our predictions for the top three.
But yeah, I mean, there's a reason we didn't do that. You know,
yeah.
It just looks like he's not on the right strategy. And Yonti's looking hot, Spice is looking hot, pardon the pun, but you know, as its situation is right now, Brownie's just going to fall down the order unless he can do some magical times on the hards. He's really praying that these that go on the mediums to hards don't have anywhere near as good a time as Brownie. And if he is going to try the one stop, it just doesn't make sense for him to do it on the softs. Like, the idea of using the softs is because you're able to chuck in faster lap times than anyone else on the track. And that's great if you actually deliver faster lap times than anyone else on the track, but he didn't. And that's what I'm curious about. He actually could, believe it or not, he could have actually done the qualifying lap that he did on the hards. He could have stayed on that and still got either P1 or P2 on the hard compound tyre. Like, why would you change off that? It doesn't make sense to me.
I think Brownie could have got P1 on the hards. Mediums
didn't he do like a 127? Oh no, he did it on softs, didn't he? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think he did anything other than softs during qualifying. He had a mindset and stuck to it. Could he have started in front with mediums? Probably not. But he could have started top 4 or 5 on them. And he's coming into the pits now because he's lost DRS to Meister. He's got to come in really. And don't get a penalty. He didn't. But he's going to come out. He's probably going to come out back by Carpaccio. I mean, there's a big gap between him and Yelp, but then it's all really, really tightly bound. So Ascari is in this as well. Where is Brandon coming out?
Almost got baited in by Overspeed. Overspeed faked out as if he's going for the pit stop. Overspeed is just trying to defend him all the way down the inside. Duxby overshoots massively because he carried so much pace there. Same for Overspeed. He just carried way too much, lost the back end, and Carpaccio says, thanks, mate. I'll take P10, and I'm on the track now for taking P9.
Yeah, I mean, look where Brownie's come out. He's got to pass all these guys. Yes, okay, they will stop. But he's now going to be held up. He's already being held up by Brogan. The moment he's come out the pits, he's found himself right in the back end of the Renault. So, okay, yes, once he gets past him, there's a 5-second window. He can put in some high-speed laps. But he's got to get past Brogan first.
Yeah.
Might not be easy.
So, Carpaccio on the back of Overspeed now, coming up to the DRS zone in the middle. Overspeed runs really deep and wide there, and this is Carpaccio on the back of him. Look how much Overspeed is trying to stay out of the slipstream. He actually runs off the track to avoid the slipstream. Carpaccio can't make a move because he's not sure what Overspeed is going to do next. He backs out just to try and protect himself, and it's now bringing himself in trouble because Duxby is about the same amount of gap between him and Carpaccio as Carpaccio is from Overspeed in front.
Yeah,
leader.
Yeah, just about to say, Mesa has chucked it in. That's quite interesting that Brownie's lasted 1 lap less than the mediums on Meister and Hazard. Now it's interesting. I'm going to see
Yeah.
where has Brownie done enough to get up to Maester, or is he just been stuck behind Brogan going to cost him? Hazard will drop behind, whereas Maester, he's coming down the pits off the limiter now.
Oh,
there's
big
buttons.
issues going on in turn one.
Yeah.
Overspeed ends up having to run really tight into the corner, but he defends it beautifully. Really well held there from him, but looking for Carpaccio now. He's got the DRS. He's got really quick pace coming into it. He's also got the inside line. He's going to have to be so careful he doesn't run into the side of Overspeed. He has, but he's only wheel to wheel, nothing more. Overspeed holds onto it, and now Duxie B on the back of Carpaccio. Carpaccio is going to have to keep an eye on his mirrors.
Absolutely. Brownie has got 1.3 second gap then to Maester, so I mean that's pretty much what he was when they pitted. So he's not lost much, he's not gained anything. But you could also argue that he didn't get in the undercut because Broker was in front of him. But here we go, three-way battle down this middle straight. Duxie B at the back. I don't think he's got the drive off the corner that he wanted. His car actually, he's close, but I don't think he's going to make a move. It's a bit odd to try and make a move here unless the person in front makes a mistake. Or there's a guy in front of that person that you can benefit DRS from, but he's trying to go round the outside of turn 12. No, there's not a lot of chance of doing that one, that's for sure.
It's so hard to go around the outside of that corner. You really have to be carrying so much speed. Overspeed moves over to get out of the the slipstream line, but it's just let Carpaccio straight through.
He's let him through so he can get the DRS here.
But I think he's actually made a mistake there, though. I mean, he's faster. But look, he's in mode 0. He's not trying to pass him. If he wanted to pass him, he'd just mode 4 him right now. So we're seeing loads of people in the pit lane, Marinella Baby being one of them. So now it's gone into a two-car battle going on as it stands for what is currently P4.
Oh, Yonti's just come out right in front of Brownie. Sorry. And right between Brownie and Maester has Yonti just stuck his car. Brownie's got a great chance to make a move here. Going up towards turn 4. These are the race leaders. Battling it out. Down for 6th, 7th and 8th. Brownie very late on the brakes. He's through, but Yonti's going to come straight back because Brownie just went so deep into that corner. I think he must have thought he had a little bit more grip than that, but he's lost out big time there. And now he's going to try and find a way past. Spicy as well has come out just behind Brownie. We've got a race on our hands here for a race win.
I mean, Hazard and Spicy, Brownie, Yonti, Maester, these are your top 5 after all the pit stops are taken into account, and they are so close together now. Maester is in trouble to an extent because he's got such a train behind him of all these fast drivers. But I want to just point out, by the way, that we saw Brownie make a big lock-up going in towards turn 4, and Yonti read that perfectly. He knew Brownie was going to go really deep into the corner, so he just got the cutback, and if he hadn't, that would have been a disaster right off the bat. Fragioco on the back of Yont Bahamas now, coming around the final corner. This might be a change for P2 as Yont Beaker's gone into the pits, and it looks like Yolt's into the pits as well. So Fragioco will now take race lead, albeit for a short space of time.
Beaker
he will pit in the next couple of laps.
I'm interested to see where Beaker's coming out. He might come out right behind this little battle with the Mercedes. It's going to be pretty darn close, that's for sure. As he's coming down the pit lane, exit now. He's coming out right on the back end of the Mercedes. Ah, this is beautiful. This is what we like to see. This is a 6-car battle for the race lead.
It's insane. I mean, Beaker, we saw him deliver an insane strategy last time out, and he's doing it again here.
Oh, big contact there between Maester and Carpaccio. This is 4th position, so it's completely all fair and love and war here. Carpaccio doesn't have to get out of the way. And Yonti's trying to come around the outside here at Maester. Are you looking for the switch back? This is sweaty.
Just a tad. I mean, we're in Bahrain anyway, which is a nice and hot country. Carpaccio's run deep into the corner. Maester gets the position away from him, and now Carpaccio's in big trouble as Yonti, who's on the fresher mediums, Hards, will just pass him pretty simply. And now it's lining up Brownie now, trying to get onto the back of this. It's important that Brownie, Spicy, Hazard, and Beaker get past Carpaccio as quick as possible, or they will lose this train that is immediately just flying away.
Yeah, Beaker's really fallen off the back of Hazard. Obviously, he's on the freshest of all the tyres, so he's going to take a little bit longer to warm up. As there's a little bit of weaving going on from Maester, trying to break the DRS of Slipstream Yonti. But I think Yonti's got a beautiful exit here. He's going to have some DRS. I think we can see a new 2nd place, effectively net lead. Hazard goes fastest. Didn't expect to see that one from back there. Yonti going down the
Yonti's coming
inside.
in for it. He's got the inside. It's going to be close. I thought it was going to be contact, but it looked like, if anything, it was just a gentle little touch between the two. Yonti's still in the back of him, still has DRS. Meister has not got DRS. He's going defensive straight up towards turn 4. Flicks over to the outside. This is where we saw Yonti and Brownie have an issue earlier on, but actually, we see this time it's going to stay as it is. Nothing further than that. Brownie is past Carpaccio. Spicy is not, and he's going to have to make quick work of it when he does get the opportunity.
Spicy was batting with Hazard down the home straight and the second DRS straight. Carpaccio's must be loving this. He's battling with the race leaders on fair terms. I mean, yes, okay, he's got a pit, but he's here by his own merits. He's going to be really enjoying this, actually, I would have thought. He's just got to, the one thing going through Carpaccio's mind, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Because if you make a mess here, everyone will see it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of the... There's so much pressure on him just to not break a little bit late and go into the back of someone. Not just spin up the rears and just come across the track or something. It's so much pressure on him. Beaker's close as well. Yelt's a bit far back to join into this train. It's 10 seconds back. So we've got a lovely little train going on. Frederick will come out down with Yelt and the pista, I reckon, when he decides to pit. But this is beautiful.
It is fabulous. Look a little bit further down the field. Spicy, Hazard, Carpaccio and Beaker all seriously close together. Beaker on the back of Hazard now. Hazard having to keep an eye on his mirrors. He's not really going for a move on Spicy. Beaker goes deep into the corner. He's going to get the inside line, and now it's going to be a really good squabble coming out of turn 2 as Hazard's got the inside. Beaker gets shoved over to the curb. Beaker's having a wobble there between the two. There's more contact between them. They're still keeping it together. No one goes off wide, and Beaker's got the inside again coming through turn 4. Has to ride the curb. Hazard's going to get a better drive out of this as Beaker loses the back end, and Hazard and Beaker will stay exactly where they were. But what a fight that was.
Please, sir, can we have some more? This is beautiful. This is what...
I mean, Spicy's saying, absolutely, sir, keep an eye out because I'm going for it. Yonti says, yes, no problem, I'm chasing the race leader, who's going to be in the end of it, he will be anyway, when Fragioka decides to pit. But now, Carpaccio in trouble. Spicy's got the DRS, and so does Carpaccio. And I was going to say he's going to be in trouble, actually, but Spicy just got a really terrible exit there. And this is
Hazard.
bringing Hazard right up in the line for it. Spicy is locking up on almost every corner.
That's a big mistake to make. I mean, why was he looking to make a dive there? If he just made a little bit of a mistake, Hazard's trying to go down the inside. Hazard, not what you expect to see, and he's done it. But has Spicy...
Can I open my eyes now?
Yeah, yeah,
Hazard's
alive. Hazard is alive. Carpaccio's not going to get DRS from Brownie, but Hazard will get it from Carpaccio. So this is really important now for Hazard because he's going to get past Carpaccio and won't have DRS from Brownie. And Yonti, oh, that's the wrong button. Yonti and Meister swapping places. Yonti flies through. Where's Brownie? Nowhere near. So new effective race leader then in Yonti.
I want to point out,
Hazard.
I said Yonti can win this. I do think that Yonti can win this. I think he's going to win this. Although Meister's trying to repay the favour to him now. You can see he had a little bit of slipstream battle there. Yonti goes defensive down the inside. Meister's going to take the outside line. This is going to be a good run for him. Yonti gets a little bit excited on the accelerator and Meister retakes the lead. Yonti will stay P2. And it's a big battle going on further back as Carpaccio is losing place to Beaker.
Well, it was bound to happen at some point, but it's crucial though the Mercedes boys have got past them as well. Beaker made short work of Carpaccio, but effective race leader then Meister from Yonti, then Brownie. Those are your top 3 predictions in none of the right positions.
Yeah.
You went Yonti, Brownie, Meister. I went Meister, Yonti, Spicy. So I've got 1 right at the moment. Perfect. Right. Spicy's a little bit far back, but it's 16 to 29. Anything can happen.
Well, this is it. I mean, they're all within DRS range of each other anyway. And literally anything can happen from this moment forward. We saw earlier on in the session, Rick delivering some incredible pace, managed to take race lead and then makes a mistake. It apparently was due to a game stutter, but nonetheless, he was still in a position. Oh, that may affect things massively though. Yonti, 5-second time penalty for extending track limits.
That's a big penalty to get given. I didn't see what happened.
Oh, Yonti. Sorry, Yonti's just got past Meister in the DRS zone. He's got the race lead again. This time, Meister's going to stay around with him on the outside. I think he might actually defend this, but I think he's made a mistake now. He should have let it go because look how close Yonti is. He's got the slipstream, but he hasn't got DRS actually. Meister somehow manages to get DRS going around that corner, and as a result of that, he remains race leader.
So the DRS detection point is at the braking line at about 100 metres. I'll try and point it out next time we come to it if we're not too busy shouting at cars driving. But Yonti had just got ahead at the braking point. Mesa then had the outside of turn 1, but crucially the inside of turn 2, and could defend quite easily with that position because then he was in the right place at the right time. Hazard and Spicy and Beaker have brought themselves back up now. They're within DRS range of Brownie. Frederick has come out in P7, so it's good for him. Could get some more points. I don't think he'll drop back from there, simply because he's on fresh mediums. And Yelt is already second off the back of him. So this is how it is. 17 and 29.
Yep. And something to keep an eye on. So usually when it's race leader, they are destroying their ERS to try and maintain the gap. Currently, Meister is looking really cozy on the ERS as it stands. He's just sat there in mode 3 up until he gets to gear 7. Yonti is right there again, going for it, flying right past him. The pace he was chucking down there was just next level, but Meister is staying alongside of him again, but actually he has to try the cutback. Yonti's got it this time. Is Meister going to be able to do what he did 2 laps ago, which is benefit from the DRS, benefit from the slipstream? He's sat in mode 1, which tells me he's not going for it.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it at the end of that lap. There were 3 fastest laps, one after each other. Hazard, Spicy, then Beaker setting the fastest lap. They are closing up to these guys, and they're going full tilt. Actually, there's a little battle going on further back as Overspeed and Duxie B going into turn 1. Duxie's got the outside of turn 2, a little bit of contact from Overspeed, and through comes Carpaccio on into those fresh mediums. And Overspeed, from going from attacking, is now dropped back a place down to 14th. And Yelt is on the back of Marinobe, he's on the back of Lepisto. Lepisto on 11 lap old hards. We can see some position changes for the last of the points places as well. While our focus has been pretty much 100% on the front lot, there are still battles going on further back.
Have you by any chance got another 2 sets of eyes that we can use? Because there are too many battles going on. There's so many situations. All these drivers are really pressuring each other. Like you said, Carpaccio on the back of Duxie B. It was Duxie B in overspeed, but now Carpaccio, who's reset himself on some mediums, he's now looking to go for a move on Duxie B. It's a tough area to try it, but he's still going to give it a good bash. Duxie B runs wide. Here comes Carpaccio looking for a potential move. We need to go further upfield, though, because Hazard and Brownie, they are literally so close together. Brownie is going to take the outside. This is going to give Hazard the inside. He goes into him, just turns straight into him. Luckily, it was wheel to wheel, so there was no damage on either car, but Brownie needs to be careful. He's done this a few times now, and Brownie's about to be overtaken by Spicy if Beaker hasn't got anything to say about it. Here he is going around the outside. This is a huge move if he can deliver it. It's not looking like it. Spicy just comes across him, shuts the door on Beaker, and Beaker loses a lot of time as a result.
Yeah, Beaker tried to keep one foot in that door. It came off worse for him. He was just rubbing up against Spicy's rear wheel. He got put into a little bit of gravel. I don't think he's going to lost anything as a result of it, but it's just slightly annoying for him. Hazard is up to P3, and is Hazard doing Hazard things now?
Oh, I don't know, because I'm looking at Overspeed and Duxie B. As Duxie B and Overspeed had a little bit of contact going in towards turn 4. Overspeed manages to benefit from it, so Duxie B loses a position there, and now he is in big doo-doo.
Hazard is doing Hazard things. He's gained 7 places so far this race, and he's within a shot. I reckon Hazard might actually be able to take top step at this rate. He's loving this track because obviously Yonti's going to have a 5-second penalty. Hazard is absolutely flying. He's got DRS on Meister. Meister might have actually missed out. Meister has missed out on DRS from Yonti. That is big news for Hazard. Hazard is outside of himself now, but he will close up. Hopefully, he's just dropping back. He's running rid on DRS though. Look at that.
That's what I was about to point out. Yeah. So he will catch up, you know, using the DRS. But with him teetering on the limit of DRS, he's also doing himself no favors because he's trying so hard to close up to these boys, which is working great at the minute. But when his DRS bar runs out, you'll see the likes of Brownie, who's currently sat half bar full. You'll see the likes of Meister, who's also sat half bar full. And then you got Yonti, who's obviously committing in the minute because he's trying to defend so much, which is usual case when you're defending from someone when you have a DRS.
Yeah.
But these boys, Meister and Brownie, they will eventually recover, and Hazard will then be in trouble. He needs to figure out a way to charge his ERS and maintain the pace, whereas these boys are looking a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, he's dropped now back outside of the DRS from Meister, but we've said it before about Hazard. He is, at one time he was captain consistent. I can't remember what rank he is now. I think we can put him back to captain until we see otherwise. He was captain consistent.
Lance Corporal.
Lance Corporal consistent. No, that doesn't really work. Corporal consistent, maybe.
Alright, we'll go with that.
But he's got that because he didn't get penalties. He's one of the guys that, over the last 2 seasons of every league we've ever seen, he just doesn't do anything. He avoids all issues on track. He avoids all penalties, but yet he gains about 3 or 4 places just through penalties, and sometimes even more. We count him out every single time going, he's got no chance. He'll never get anywhere near the podium. And similarly here, neither of us even looked at him. I didn't even think Hazard could get up to this point, but he's there. But he has Brownie on his rear now. Ooh, just missed that rear wheel. He's made a mistake though off the corner. And Hazard has now dropped back behind Brownie, although he's going to look at that ERS 10%.
Yeah.
Brownie's made a mistake.
It just shows it,
Brownie's done Brownie things.
Well, he has, and Hazard almost had a look into it, but Brownie manages to still hold on just about, and you can see this 4-car battle is getting closer and closer. But whilst this is happening, the gap between P2 and 3 is now set to 2.7 seconds as Hazard is trying to make moves again on Brownie. Just couldn't make it work there. He's now got the inside line going through the double left-hander, but Brownie is still going to stay ahead of him. And Hazard now, slipstream, DRS is going to be huge. He's not actually using the slipstream. He's only using the DRS to try and help him recover his ERS, I can only imagine. Yeah, he is. But it's not really benefiting him as it stands. He's sat at 24%. And when he does go for the attack, which I know he will, on the home straight, he's going to burn all of that. And then he's going to lose the position again in the run up to turn 4.
That's a bit of a mistake there. He's got to back out of that. He could lose out to Spicy. Spicy's going to have a good run out of this corner. And no, he's not, unless Spicy fancies a little dive. He's fancied a little dive. Ooh, bit of a corner cut, and Beaker is right there. This is getting, well, the name of number 5, Spicy.
Oh, Beaker right on the back of Spicy. Now they are literally wheel to wheel, but because both of them have DRS from Hazard, they're going to be looking for a move now. Beaker's got the inside. There's contact between the two of them. You could say that Spicy turned in towards him. He was getting wheel to wheel, but Beaker takes the position now. He's got DRS as well and the slipstream of Hazard. Spicy's too far back to try and recover that position, so it's going to stay Beaker P5, Brownie P3, and Hazard just the meat in this sandwich. I'm not sure who's going to benefit most from this.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on, actually, is the pistol picks up a 3-second penalty back there in 9th. That could... Well, it's going to lose him a place at the moment. It might lose him more if things go bad for him. The one thing to keep an eye on is Beaker. 9 laps on those tyres compared to 10 for Spicy, 11 for Hazard and 12 for Brownie. He's just got a little bit more life compared to the other guys. And if he switches it on in the last couple of laps and just burns off that excess rubber that he's got, he might be sitting on the last step of the podium. And again, like Hazard, something neither of us even thought was going to happen.
It's true. I mean, the other thing to bear in mind, again, is Yonti having that 5-second penalty will drop him right down the order now, out of the podium completely. And it might even chuck him even further than that if those guys from 3rd onwards close up even more. I mean, Brownie's actually holding this pack back, believe it or not.
Yeah.
He's somehow losing time to the front two as he's holding this battle back. I think the defense is what's causing the problem.
The gap between Brownie and Mace and Yonti is 4.8. So he'll come out between, or Yonti will come between Brownie and Hazard at the end.
Hazard, he's gone for a deep dive into the corner. He's managed to actually get ahead of him, but Brownie gets a better drive out the corner. He's now back in front of Hazard. Hazard runs wide, and so he'll reset back to where he was. Beaker just watched all of it happen and didn't even have to worry about Spicy because Spicy was just too far back to try anything.
Yep, and look at that. That is now over 5 seconds, so Yonti will only go 1 position down. I think Maester knows that Yonti's got that 5-second penalty and just taking it easy. Doesn't need to push Yonti. If Yonti makes a mistake, Yonti makes a mistake. Maester doesn't really need to hang on to the back of him. Just needs to apply pressure.
Yeah.
Although I don't know who he'd want to get points more. Would it be Yonti or Brownie? Who does he want to have 2nd place?
I really don't know, but I mean, we also have to keep an eye on position 13 and 14 as Overspeed did manage to get the pass done on Duxaby on the home straight, so he's back up to 13th. Duxaby though made a mistake coming out of turn 2, and that's where you saw the same situation as Overspeed did. He just lost the rear there. end up sliding around the corner just a touch. That's going to warm his tyres up a little bit more than he wants to be. And now it's bringing Duxie B into the fire again, ready to take him out. He's going to go for a DRS straight. He's not going to go for the attack though. He gets a really bad exit there.
Yeah, I'll just keep an eye once again on Haz's ERS. He's actually better off than Brownie was, as Meister and Yonti are swapping places. Have a quick look at that. That's into turn 1, so Meister has taken the race lead. And didn't need to take the race lead because Yonti wasn't going to do much about it. So he had lost 5 seconds at the penalties at the end of the race. But Hazard's actually dropped back a bit from Brownie.
Oh, there was almost a situation there between Beaker and Hazard as Beaker was touching the wheel of Hazard there. I don't know whose fault it was either way, but they're still running clean. There's a lot of hard racing definitely going on here, and this is bringing Spicy right into this mix even more than it was before. It was 410 separating them up before, and now they are literally bumper to gearbox, or wing to gearbox if you like. It's close enough now, and I think on the next home straight, I don't think this is going to be just one position lost. I think Brownie is going to lose 2, maybe even 3.
I think 3 might be a bit too much to ask. That's basically a 1 second pass. 0.7 is doable if the guy doesn't get the best drive off the corner. But I think 1's very likely, 2's kind of unlikely at this point, I reckon. 3's near impossible. So Hazard will give it a good shot. I don't think Beaker's going to be close enough unless he can nail this last corner. And let's see, can he nail it perfectly, or can Hazard? It's going to be close.
Yonti and Meister swapping places again. DRS zone is activated for him. He is tearing past him now, and the gap is enough now. I think that Yonti and Meister are going to stay like this at least whilst we go into the straight for turn 4. Brownie stays P3. Hazard and Beaker and Spicy still the little train that's going on. Whereas we go back up to race leader, you can see Meister trying to close up again on Yonti. He's not going to be able to get the gap here, and now
Beaker,
that's going to
Hazard.
stay the same.
Beaker Hazard just all over the place on the exit. Beaker's locked up big. He had the position, but it broke so late that he had no control over the car. And Hazard takes the place straight back off him. From this place now, what's the order of these 4 going to be? What do you reckon?
Oh, it's so tense. Brownie's doing a really good job of keeping the cars behind. That is the difference maker as it stands. The longer he holds them back, the worse it is for those behind, especially Spicy. He's going to be the one who struggles the most. If we lose Duxie B, he's out of the race. Not sure exactly where that is, but he's done and dusted. We need to just think about how hot Spicy's engine's going to be, how hot his tyres are going to be, and his brakes are going to be. And that is sort of playing a factor here for him to be falling apart a little bit. Beaker made a mistake there coming out of turn 10. And it's now going to be... Oh, that won't help either.
Well, I think that might change any predictions you were going to have, isn't it? Actually, Beaker might lose a place to Fragioco. Fragioco's 3 and a bit seconds off the back, and he's closing. He's closed about a second in the last lap to these guys, and he could join the back end of these lot on the last lap or so. I'm not counting him out yet. That's a big penalty for Drew Slav down there in 15th, but I'm not too worried about it.
No. Alright, Meister and Yonti. Meister's doing his best to try and actually break out of Yonti's slipstream, purely because he's trying to charge his ERS bar even more, but also keep his car under control in terms of temperature. I think he's at a point where he's still got a fair bit of fuel, so he's trying to run in rich, but keep his engine running pretty cool. So it's quite a tough thing to do in this game now. Overall, that's what he needs to do if he wants to really mount the attack on Yonti at the last possible moment. The thing that's going to be going through Meister's mind the most is, if he hasn't already checked for the penalty, which he probably has done, but if he hasn't, he's going to be trying to think, which lap do I want to take Yonti on, if I want to take him at all, and you know, it's a tough one to really call when you do it.
I hope he knows that Yonti's got a penalty, because otherwise his entire strategy could be changing based on the fact he doesn't know it. I don't know if Jeff tells you about 5-second penalties. I don't know, in all honesty, because they're different to 3 seconds. They don't appear in the telemetry app that we normally have, do they? So does Jeff tell you? They're servable in the pit stops as well, so they could be a bit of a grey area. I don't race enough to know if that gets told.
I know the stop goes don't get mentioned. That's the thing that isn't clear. So
well, it's not
could
stop
change.
Go.
No, it wasn't. That one wasn't. So he will probably have actually get that information
Beaker's got
from
yellow
the jet.
fuel.
Yeah, look at Hazard though. On the Brownie again is looking for a big dive down the inside now. He just goes run really deep there. Definitely went straight towards the outside area. I think he just lost the car a little bit. Nothing further than that. There was no real damage done. It has brought Beaker into this mix though. We are now going to see a three-way battle coming up towards turn 4. Hazard moves at the very last possible second. And Beaker will have to try the cutback. It's not going to quite work out for him. He just can't get the traction out of the corner. He's still there alongside Hazard. There's contact again. The front wing there just gets a clip as Beaker's back in. He caught it beautifully, but Spicy's now on the back of Beaker. This is going to require Beaker to defend like a champion. He's trying his best, but ultimately, even if he gets past them, he's going to have to pull away so fast to counter the fact that he's got a 3-second time penalty, and this is going to be rough racing nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hazard's bit didn't know where Beaker was the way he was driving.
Yeah.
He was too busy trying to attack Brownie. He didn't really look in his mirrors or look at his detection marker, should we say. And as such, then just nudged Beaker a couple of times. And when he pulled out up and in the braking, or getting towards the braking area, he's got past him.
But he's now made a mistake, though. He shouldn't have done it there, because Brownie's going to be able to just slingshot past him when we get to the home straight. Meister is trying to get on the back of Yonti. Here we go now. This is going to be a change of race leader, undoubtedly. Oh, he backed out. He actually backed out. He doesn't want to pass Yonti yet. He's not trying to pass him. He's just trying to apply pressure to him, force him to make more mistakes. And there was a little bit of contact between the two. Ooh. Brownie and Hazard now. Hazard really pushed Brownie over to the inside there. Brownie manages to get past. It's all about the exit speed. Can he get the better drive out of the corner? And he has. Brownie will retake P3 from Hazard. And that goes back to what I was saying. Too early there from Hazard. Can he fix it here?
Well, we're on lap 28 of 29. The part that's too early is going to be pass on this lap now. I think Hazard might have almost done it right. If he gets the overtake over the start-finish straight, next time we come to it, or the one we're coming to now, that is the perfect time to make the overtake. But, so Hazard wasn't in the wrong, he wasn't in the right. The overtake coming up now, if he passes him here, that's a mistake. Because then Brownie will take him on the home straight on the final time we get a long DRS on the home straight. I don't know if Brownie's going to play cheeky tactics and try and make a mistake. We do see it occasionally. I don't like seeing it, but it happens. And we'll stay with them and see if Brownie has a mistake somewhere. Oh, there's a mistake.
Do you know what we need? Oh, yeah, that is a mistake. Brownie losing it again. But is it an actual mistake? Or again, same situation. Like we said earlier, Hazard, he passed him in the wrong place on the track, in my opinion. He's now about to lose the position again to Hazard, to Brownie, sorry. Providing that Brownie doesn't make a mistake. Beaker goes down the inside. He's looking for a move here. This is going to be disaster. I think that has cost Brownie from being able to pass, repass Hazard. This is now Beaker trying to retrace his steps and recover everything. Spicy's coming for a move as well. Beaker and Brownie are going wheel to wheel round turn 1. Brownie gives him a good shove up to the side there. Beaker ends up being the victim in all of that. And all of this happening has meant that Hazard is able to run away with P3. And Beaker gifted that to Hazard.
Can everyone put their hands up if they haven't got a clue what's just happened on that straight? Because
both hands are in the air for you here.
I think we almost just went 5 cars taking up the space of 1.5 cars. Fred Joker's getting in the mix here. He's not out of this. He's got medium tyres. Yes, okay, they're going to be quite old, but so is everyone else's tyres. If Fred Joker gets the drive of this corner, he could jump Spicy. He's already going to get Beaker, but if he gets the perfect drive, Fred Joker might claim something here. I'm not counting him out yet.
Yonti and Meister wheel to wheel going round turn 10. There's contact between the two of them. Yonti gets sent wide as a result of it. It's nothing more than just he turned in too much. Meister turned in too little, and that was a problem between the two. Meister will sit race leader. I mean, ultimately, with the penalty involved, he's going to take race lead anyway. He needs to think about the guy behind him because 5.3 seconds is all it is between Yonti and Hazard. And I say all it is because if he loses 2 more tenths, Hazard will take P2. But now the battle further down the field. Brownie will need to think about the exit to this corner. Hazard is going to absolutely take P3.
Spicy with 3-second penalty. Fred Joker takes him anyway. Spicy with a 3-second penalty. So Fred Joker is going to take 6th. And
4th. He takes 4th place due to penalties. How did Brownie lose so much time?
I think Brownie might be bugged.
8th now.
No, Brownie's got to be bugged. That makes no sense. To drop that far back.
Yeah, he just keeps dropping.
Apparently he's one
apparently a lap down.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, so that's got to be Yeah, I think Brownie did fit P4. I think Fragioco will take 5th as a result of that, so Beaker will be 6th by 7th.
Okay, hang on. I'm just going through the race times, which gives you a good idea of where people came. So, Mesa obviously won from Yonti. Hazard did a 44.52.11. Fragioco doesn't have a time for some reason. Beaker did a 44.53.538. Spicy did 54.93, and I didn't get far enough back, unfortunately. I flicked through some of them, so hopefully that's not for us to worry about. Hopefully admins can get themselves involved with that. I'm sure they'll come out with the right result in the end.
Well, there it is. So it is Meester taking the top step of the podium, hoisting the trophy high. Really good scrap with him and Yonte pretty much all race long. And then you got Hazard, who did a really good recovery drive. Well, it's not a recovery drive, sorry, did a really good race drive. His qualifying was left a lot more to be desired than it actually was, but you can see here that Hazard does take P3. Good third place podium for him. And we'll get the rest of the rundown in just a second. When it decides to load. There we go. Meester, P1. Yonti goes to P5, and it doesn't, the 5-second penalty doesn't really affect him. He stays exactly where he is, but it is a lot closer than he anticipated with him and Hazard. Hazard takes 3rd. Fragioco 4th, with Beaker 5th. Although it's actually Brownie 4th, Fragioco 5th, Beaker 6th, Spicy 7th, Marinello 8th, Yolt Nabamas 9th, the pit stop rounding out the top 10. Pascari will take 11th. Capaccio will take 12th, Overspeed 13th, Brogan 14th, Jurislav 15th, Brownie's 4th, Duxby 16th, and Rick, who is the only DNFer of the session. Oh no, sorry, Duxby and Rick were the only DNFers of the session. Well, wow, what a race that was. That is the end of the Grand Prix here in Bahrain. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for you. I've been Ben Raggy McConnell. This has been Jeremy Castle Elder. Thank you very much for helping us, mate. I appreciate it as always. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you guys next week for more.
Time actually.